What's up, Ree? Oh, I'm doing some Path of Ascension guides. I got those three up yesterday, right, Ree? Between the three videos, I'm already at 116 views, and I got a new subscriber. If we all would have zerged. If we all would have zerged. Well, not only that, but you got the four keepers as well that are probably going to be chewing through people, too. Oof, that's even worse. Isn't that why people used to kite one out at kite them out one at a time or whatnot? Okay, we are back today, continuing our Path of Ascension guide. We will be fighting Numenuru. So you want to make sure to come over here to your little soul mirror here. You will scroll down, well, not really scroll down, but just come down to Numenuru. You select Numenuru, Courage, hit Choose. The fight will be done by Pelagos. So you come over here, choose Pelagos. So for the fight with Numenuru, he will stand in the middle of the room. He doesn't come after you, so he's kind of rooted. Obviously, he's a tree. He will summon fairies around the room, which you can easily take out using your number one ability, your Test of Fate. Or if they're grouped up, you can also use your Aspirant's Binding. In previous fights, you've seen me use that to root the boss, because obviously they came after us. We will be using our number 3 ability, taking the center buff, which is the haste. Maybe if I'm feeling a little bit intrigued by it, I might go with the shield because he does summon the fairies around the field. Though, like I said, they can be killed, but if it isn't to my liking, I'll try to mitigate damage as best I can. He does also cast a second type of fairy, a volatile or exploding fairy, that after about 8 seconds will explode. Good thing is, it only takes one casting of your channeling of Test of Faith to bring it down, so you want to make sure to kill those as soon as possible. For the other fairies, you can line of sight them, so you want to make sure to do so as often as possible to fight the boss. And of course, you can use your number 4 Unleash to do as much damage to them as possible to the boss and kind of help you clean out the area as well if things start to get a bit dicey. As far as equipment goes, neither one's really going to be of help here, as the abilities he uses are purely insignificant. There's nothing that's going to slow you down. There's really nothing to avoid besides making sure to kill those exploding fairies. And then before we get started, I want to go ahead and make sure you hit the follow button and the like, so that way you can know when I post new content, and then that way I know that you also like new content. And if you could, please hit that subscribe button. I want to go ahead and give a thank you out to our newest subscriber, Iceberg Lettuce. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And let's go ahead and get this fight started. And this is our fight with Numenuru. So we're going to come over here to this pillar. There we go. We'll get this started. We're going to go ahead and we're going to kill this one on this side. I'm going to do that to help clean this up. Hit that. Do that. Uh-oh. It's getting it off. There we go. That. Oh, I think we grabbed the wrong one there. Just going to do that to clean that up on that side. Where's the exploding fairy at? Oh, snap. It's way over there. Yeah, that hurt. Go ahead and keep chewing through. We're going to use our number 2. Right now they're casting fairy bolts on me, which don't do a lot of damage. The big thing is you want to make sure you're killing the exploding fairy. So we'll get him there. Go ahead and we'll wipe him up here. He's using So, which is going to put down more fairies. I think we can pretty much ignore what's about to happen. We're going to take the damage reduction so that way we can just focus boss. That should do it. And that's how you do it. Once again, boss does not move. Make sure to clear your path with the little fairies using whether you use Test of Faith, your ability 1, or your Aspirant's Binding if they're grouped up. Do make sure to kill those exploding fairies. They do at least 25% of your health, and it does hurt. So let's go ahead and go tell Clea that she can now participate. She's been standing there the whole time? I don't think I've ever remember running past her. What's up, Ben? Thank you once again for joining us for another Path of Ascension battle. This time we will be taking on... Thank you once again for joining us for another Path of Ascension battle. We will be taking on Craven Corinth today. We will once again be choosing our Soulbind Pelagos, so that way we can continue on with the challenges. So you come over and you choose Pelagos. We will be using, in this case, Harold's foot pads for the dash. And the reason for that is, for this boss, he does two main mechanics. The first one is he will do lines of blood on the ground, which you want to make sure that you move out of. And then he will do that twice. And for the third one, he will do an area of effect covering about 75% of the map. So you want to make sure to get as close to him as possible. So that way, when he chooses which one he's going to, you make sure you can get into the safe zone. The second main ability he uses is he will port behind one of the pillars and he'll summon a blood sphere. You want to make sure to get to it over as quickly as possible, so that's why we took the boots, so that way we can dash. And you want to DPS it down because it will damage you or heal him. That is an opportunity to make sure to use your number 4 ability, your Unleash, so that way you can do damage to both the boss and his orb. Of course, you can also, in this fight, root him because he does run up to you and do some melee damage. As far as your buffs, I would recommend the Haste, because once again, most of his damage is going to be avoidable because it's the big thing that he does is mostly in the center of the map. And then just continue to DPS him down and root him whenever you can to get extra points, so that way you can make sure to use your number 4 Unleash. So let's go ahead and get this fight started. This is our fight with Craven Corinth. So unlike other fights, I'm not going to run over to a pillar because with that, there is really no need to this time around. We're going to start off with rooting him. So that way we can go straight into our buff. We're just going to DPS him down as quickly as we can here. We're going to try to hold on to that. We're going to hit our number 5. And then we're going to come over here, do our number 4. Go ahead and stun him. Hit our number 3. He's whacking like a champ. Oh, okay. Welcome back here. We're once again fighting Corinth. Okay, welcome back. Thank you so much for coming for another battle in the Path of Ascension. We'll be taking on Craven Corinth today. We'll, of course, be choosing Pelagos. So we will come over here and choose Pelagos. We are also going to come over here and choose Craven Corinth. Choose. We're going to be taking the boots, and I'll explain that here in a moment. So in this fight, he has two main mechanics. One is he will do lines of blood from the center stage. You want to make sure to get into the safe zones and avoid that. He'll do that twice on the third one. He covers about 75% of the map, so you want to make sure that you're up close to him so that way you can get into the safe zone so you don't take the damage from that. We will, of course, be using our abilities to root him because he does get up close to you and he will do a fair amount of damage, so you want to make sure to stay away from him as best as you can. You want to be making sure to channel your Test of Fate as much as possible. And, of course, for the Confront Memories, we're going to be taking the shield one, which is the one on the right-hand side. It's got the sphere around it. And, of course, we'll be using our Unleash as often as we can. For the second mechanic, that he will port behind one of the pillars and summon an anima orb, which will begin healing him as he's consuming it, so you want to make sure to get to it as quickly as possible. It's why we took the boots. So you want to make sure to take that so you can get to it as soon as possible and destroy it. You want to make sure to run through him so that way you can get them stacked up, and you want to use your 2 ability to bind it and then DPS down the orb and then continue working on him. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start this fight. And while we're loading in here, want to make sure that you go ahead and hit that follow button, hit the like, and subscribe so that way you can know the next time I release Path of Ascension fights. Here we go. I'm going to go ahead and that. Okay, it hit. That was sloppy. I'm going to lose this. Ouch. Nope, that's a miss. There we go. Let's keep DPSing him here. How many more tokens do I have here? Currency. This is considered... Like, I don't feel like this is any faster. Get as close as we can here. This big one's coming next. Go ahead and we're going to take that. We're going to do that. Or he can go and do his orb, which he should be doing here momentarily. There it is. So we're going to come over here. We're going to hit him with that. Take that. That. Get some separation here. Just in case he ports. I'm going to move in. Get out of the way. With that. Hit him with that while he's still stunned. Do that to get the shield. Make some distance. Grab the shield. And there you go. We cut that a little bit on the close side. We had about 20% of our health remaining. He does do a lot of slap damage, so you do want to make sure to take that shield as often as you can. Make sure to nuke him down. Keep him at a distance using your aspirins binding. So do be careful in that fight. Get that turned in here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to create Spirit Forged. Welcome back for our another. Welcome back to yet another fight in the Path of Ascension. Today we will be taking on yet another boss. We will be doing the Splinter Bark Nightmare. Okay, thank you so much for once again coming back. We are taking on the sixth boss today. It will be the Splinter Bark Nightmare. So once again, you come over to your soul mirror here. You scroll down to Splinter Bark Nightmare. You hit choose. And we will be doing this fight with Pelagos. We won't be taking... Actually, thank you so much for coming for our sixth boss today. On the Path of Ascension, we will be taking on the Splinter Bark Nightmare. You just come over to your soul mirror here, scroll down to Splinter Bark Nightmare. You'll hit choose. And of course, we'll be doing this with Pelagos. I am taking the Aegis. The boss has two phases. The first phase, he will chase you around the arena, doing damage in a melee range, and of course, casting swirlies on the ground that would do spikes. And another one that is a flower. Getting hit by this is a stun. So you want to be careful when using your Test of Faith and your Confront Memories, as these will cause you to become stunned. Your best bet is to wait until you see the swirlies, move out and cast, or wait until you see them and know you're in a safe location, and then using your abilities. At 50%, he will go into a rage. You want to make sure to be using your shield from your buff from Confront Memories, so that way you can face tank him. You're not going to be able to outrun it, but that way you can use that, make sure to root him, and then right before it expires, making sure to get away from him, so that way you can move until you have Confront Memories again to grab another shield. He will then, of course, run out of rage and return back into his phase 1, and then you just continue to nuke him and kite him around, avoiding his spikes on the ground. We did take the Aegis, so this does eat some damage from incoming damage, so we'll try to use that when he's in his enrage, and then anything nearby, it will redirect a portion of the damage back to him. And once again, while this fight gets started, we are up against the Splinter Bark Nightmare. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that follow button, hit the like, and make sure to subscribe, so that way you can see any content that I released on the Path of Ascension. And I let myself get stunned. So now we're taking damage. I don't know if that's going to hit us. Take the shield and root him. And he's demolishing us. That was not on a good cooldown there. As he's starting to get ready for the high enrage, we're going to prepare. So here it comes. Let's grab the shield. Just enraged. We're going to hit our Aegis. Did not grab the Aegis. This is bad. We got stunned again. That was a bit on the sloppy side. I forgot to grab the Aegis, which we were supposed to be using. So I do apologize for that. I would recommend grabbing it for that fight. So when you're face tanking him there in his second phase when he is enraged. So just to reintegrate for that fight, you want to make sure for that first phase that you take. I would recommend the shield, so that way you can take as much damage as you can there. Make sure that you have it ready to go when he gets ready to enrage. So if you have to hold on to it, I do recommend holding on to your buff, so that way he doesn't chew through you. The second thing is during the enrage, make sure when he enrages, get some distance between you and him, so that way you can get a little bit extra on your cooldown for your confront memories. And of course, then just face tanking him, and I would recommend your Aegis as well, if you remember to take it. Thank you so much for once again returning. We are once again taking on Calicine in our second fight. This is the Trial of Loyalty. So in this, she is buffed with strength and I believe her health. So she is harder. So this is the test of loyalty. So you want to make sure to go to Calicine. You're going to choose loyalty. So choose. We are going to do this with Pelagos. So we come over to Pelagos. We're going to choose him. For this, we are going to take the boots because the boots do break chains. So that way, if we do get caught, we can continue fighting her. In this, of course, her chains, they can be line of sighted. So we're going to make sure to try to do that as best as we can. If not, we will use our number 5 if things get a bit hairy. We will, of course, be using our channel Test of Faith to do as much damage. We're going to be using Aspirin's bindings to keep her away from us. We'll probably take the shield just because it does do a lot to keep you alive. And of course, whenever we get the chance, we're going to be using our Unleash, so that way we can do some damage back to her. For her, she also has a second ability. She will fly up in the air. You want to make sure to avoid the ground AoE that she does. So that way, because if it hits you, it will kill you. So let's go ahead and get this started for our Trial of Loyalty, Calicine. Ah, it doesn't work anymore for that, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to do that. We're going to hit her with this. We're going to get our shield. There we go. So now we just run. The chain will break once the attack is over. I honestly don't know where she's at. Here with our 4. And take our shield. Hit her with that. Once she's gotten that one on us, we're going to do this to break it. That. Go ahead and hit her with this. Once we get the chance here, we're going to take our shield. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Channeling. Hit her with that. Chainer. And that is how you beat Calistine on the Trial of Loyalty. Once again, her chain was coming through the thing. They may have patched that, or with Trial of Loyalty, it no longer works. So you want to make sure to be using your boots. I would recommend once you have the 2 on you, so that way going into it, you only have the 1. You could wait and do it when you have all 3, but I'd recommend to minimize how much pulling you have going on before you go into that, making sure that you can continue to DPS her and stay away from her as best as possible. Whew, I just did the Path of Ascension, the first boss on Loyalty. I thought I was going to die, Ree. I really did. No, I passed. I beat her with like 20% health. I haven't seen any guides for the Path of Loyalty yet. Is 319. Oh, Reed, I got another thing in my daily covenant thing. I got another conduit again, another purple conduit today. That's 5 days in a row. Actually, you know what? It's actually not too bad. What I got was, let me go to it here and I'll tell you. It was Indelible Victory. Victory Rush heals you for 260% of the damage it dealt over 8 seconds. And I mean, you got to think that it does. Normally, when I strike a target, it normally does, I'd say more than the 500 it says in the tooltip. So you got to think Torghast. That's what I was thinking too. That'd be a good one for Torghast, especially since most of the time at once you know you're going to be using it a lot, because it's not going to be good in PvP because you have to get the killing blow for it to work. It's not going to be good in Mythics because once again you have to get the killing blow and there's no guarantee you will. Especially when there's classes that have a lot better things than Execute to finish off something for a large burst, like Mark of Death and stuff like that. Execute I feel like isn't as powerful as it used to be. But Torghast, I could see it being very strong. On at least trash mobs on bosses, unless they have an ad that they summon, which some of them do. It's not going to be too powerful. Might even honestly be good in the Maw. Yeah. Anytime you're taking on more than one mob, especially if you can kill them quickly, especially to get like a. And I don't even know if, like, let's say you use it once and then it procs again, you use it again. I don't know if it refreshes the 8 seconds or if it gives you another one. I'd have to honestly test that. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna call here for the stream because I do need to get those videos edited so that way I can get them posted. I appreciate it as always. Where you at? Oof. Okay, then once again, thank you so much for everyone coming. Make sure to hit that follow button so you can see when I go live. And of course, I upload all my content to YouTube as well, so you can also go there and see it. Thank you so much for coming. Have a good day and stay safe.